Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your designated figure reviewer, the Figure King, coming to you with yet another review. And today we're going to be taking a look at a figure that I've had for about a month or two, and I just didn't bother taking them out of the package. I have some other DC Icons figures that I need to review, but without further ado, of course, the DC Comics DC Icons Superman. Now, I got this figure at my local comic book shop, at one of my local comic book shops. I can't remember exactly which one because it's been a little minute since I got the figure. I might not have even got it. I got it from somewhere. I'm almost positive it was a comic book store. But anyway, just to look at the packaging here, of course, this is the standard DC Collectibles packaging. Of course, we got the DC Collectibles logo down at the bottom. We got DC Comics Icons with the Superman logo inside of the S, and all of the Icons figures do have some sort of logo or insignia inside of the O on Icons. This is figure number 10 in the wave. That's pretty much what this is telling us here. Of course, we got his name there. Warning. The warning's down at the bottom. Really cool Superman logo up top. On this side, it lets us know again that this is figure number 10. We got the Superman logo there, DC Comics Icon Superman, and this is the Superman based off of the Man of Steel comic, which actually, DC Collectibles down at the bottom, the movie itself that came out in 2013, if you've been living under a rock, of course, let me kind of explain it to you. There was a movie that came out in 2013 called The Man of Steel. Man of Steel, the actual film, was largely based off of the comic. He even had Keelix, which is the little robot that's in this box with him in the movie. Keelix made an appearance. So here on the back of the box, we get Superman and the other figures that come in this wave. Of course, Aquaman. I think that's Atomica. Yeah, I think that's Atomica. If I'm wrong, leave a comment down below and correct me. And Harley Quinn. Of course, we get a little small picture of the figures down there at the bottom. Of course, we get that same Icons DC Comics. DC Comics down at the bottom. Nothing much on the other side. I'm going to go ahead, take a break, and get this guy out of packaging. Okay, so here's Superman and his Fortress of Solitude robot out of the packaging. Now, I do have some gripes about this figure. This is probably the only figure that I've reviewed thus far that I probably have the most gripes about. Don't get me wrong, I really do like this figure. I like the color of his suit. There's a lot of other things that I like about the figure, but I do have my issues with it. Now, Superman does come with some accessories. Of course, he comes with some extra hands. These are kind of semi-flying hands. Really nice hands there. And he comes with Keelix, of course. This is robot friend from the actual comic. And like I said, he did make an appearance in Man of Steel. And he also comes with a stand. Now, this isn't Superman's stand. This is Keelix's stand. And the way that you put it all together is because Keelix is a floating robot. He doesn't stand like this or anything. He floats. So you basically just take that little stick, plug it into the stand there, and you take Keelix and you place him right on there. Is it gonna, like so? I don't know how well he's gonna stand. But oh yeah, there it is. And that's pretty much how you do that. See, yeah, he doesn't plug in too good. The bottom of them, because the way they made it, it's kind of slanted, and he does have some articulation as well. I guess if you wanted, you could also put Superman on here, but I highly doubt Superman's gonna stand that well. One of the reasons being is because his pegs don't really fit that little stick. So if you peg him in like that, he's not gonna stay. So those are pretty much his accessories. Let's try to get Keelix back on there. And he should stay a little bit better this time. And there he is. Now, those are the only accessories that Superman comes with. Now, you guys have heard me kind of express some dismay that I have with the DC icons. My biggest complaint about the DC icons figures is that they're not really 6.5 to 7-inch scale figures. But they do make up for that with the actual design of the figures, the articulation of the figures, and the accessories. They come with a lot of accessories. I have 4 DC Icons figures. I've only reviewed one. This is my second one that I'm reviewing. I've reviewed Batman a couple months back. Yeah, they come with a lot of accessories, but the size, like I'm not like a huge fan of the size of them. So before we take a look at Superman, we're going to take a look at Keelix. So Keelix is gold. This is pretty much a gold kind of ET-ish. You can tell he's an alien robot. I'm going to take him off the stand real quick. He has this little plastic piece for his like Oculus shield. He does have a little bit of articulation, and by articulation I mean he turns his head, so you can turn that all the way around. He can turn his arms around, and he can move. Oh, can he? Barely. I don't think that's meant to be rotated. No, I don't think that's meant to be rotated. That's pretty much all the rotation for Keelix. He's just a cool little accessory really to include with Superman, because he is an alien, and Keelix, Superman I mean, is an alien, and Keelix is an alien robot. And he lives in a Fortress of Solitude, so I mean, that's cool. The design for him does kind of, you can tell that was inspired. That the design for Keelix was inspired from E.T. So we're gonna send him aside, so hopefully he doesn't fall over. Yeah, he's not gonna. I'm just gonna stand him straight like that. Yeah, so as for Superman's hands, they plug out easily. Just take that one out and put that one in. I mean, it's not hard taking them out or anything. These are kind of like choking hands. Like I'm gonna choke you. This kind of hands those are. But I think I'm gonna leave him with the fisted hands. So some of the gripes I have about this figure, size, the size of the figure is side. His eyes, I know my camera's picking it up, so you guys see exactly what I see. He looks like he's either really exhausted, or he's been sniffing Krypton angel dust. He looks like those eyes, they could have done a better job on those eyes. And it's not just my figure. I've seen reviews of this actual figure, and yeah, it's pretty much the same all across the board. All the figures look like that. His S, we got some chipped paint there, right there. You got some chipping on the paint on the S. We got, for whatever reason, some flesh tone right down there by his armpit, and that's not bled through. It looks like someone, whoever painted these figures, I guess decided to, kind of put some flesh tone paint down there. I really like the cape. For some reason, I really like those Superman capes with the S on the back. I really think they should have did that in the movie. And Man of Steel kind of gave him an S back there. It didn't have to be yellow or anything. It just could have been stitched on. That would have been really cool. They didn't do that. But whatever. I mean, since it was largely based off the comic. But, I mean, we got a whole new design in that Man of Steel suit. So, yeah, I really like it. And we also got some kind of black spot back there on the cape. There was some black stuff up here. I was able to rub that off, but that's not coming off. That's paint, like black paint for whatever reason. I don't know why it's back there. Yeah, those are just some of the gripes that I have about the figure. Now we're gonna talk about the stuff that I actually do like about the figure. First of all, I like his boots. Those aren't all the gripes, though. We're gonna get into them as I go along. I like the boots. His boots are shiny. That's kind of dope. I really like that. And that's more gripes, more articulation there. I'm not a big fan of the underwear. That's the classic Superman look, so I'll put up with it. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. Just letting you guys know. I've actually met people who love the underwear look. I've never been a fan of it. That's one of the reasons why I like the Man of Steel suit so much. I like his S. It's not painted on. It's actually sculpted on, as you can see. It's sculpted. That's really dope. The S on the cape is sculpted. I like the way the figure stands. That's another thing I like about it. I like the gold paint on the actual belt. That's dope. I like the hair. I like how they sculpted that curl there. It's not like you guys know what I'm trying to say. It's the Dark Knight Returns, the multiverse. It's not like the DC Multiverse Dark Knight Returns Superman, where it has the hair and then you got this big country curl glued on the front of his head. Like, it's not like that. It's actually sculpted, and that's really cool. I like the way they did that. Man, those eyes. I think we should have got an alternate head sculpt with heat vision eyes. That would have been really cool. And I also like that face sculpt too. It's really intense. He's got the strong jawbone, strong cheekbones. He's got the nice Superman chin. You can obviously tell that this is Superman. Like, even when if he didn't have his Superman suit on, you can tell that that's Superman. Another thing I don't like about a lot of Superman figures is that this isn't sculpted, it's just painted. You know what I mean, around his collar, where it transitions from his skin to his actual suit. It's painted. That's one thing that I don't like. I do not like that. Now, just to kind of get into his articulation, and you're gonna hear some gripes here, just letting you guys know. So his head is on a standard ball joint. It looks up that much, which he doesn't look up at all. He looks down pretty good. His arms go out that much. They do turn 360 degrees. The cape doesn't hinder it at all. He's got upper arm rotation. He's got a double jointed elbow, which is nice. He's got the swivel and the pivot in the wrist, which is really, really, really cool. I like that. He's got the ab crunch. He crunches down that much, crunches back that much. Really, really, really piss poor. I'm sorry. It is. He doesn't have any waist articulation. His upper abdomen does move, but it doesn't rotate all the way around. His legs, he kicks forward that much, back that much, and he can hit the splits pretty good. But that's it really for the leg articulation, other than the knees and the ankles. He doesn't have any thigh swivel, no calf swivel. That really, really, really sucks. Come on, DC Collectibles. I mean, come on, really. The boots, it looks like that's sculpted. I kind of thought that he had like some articulation there. He doesn't. But he does have a double jointed knee, and he has the ankle pivot, and that's pretty much it. And it rocks back and forth. Man, I really don't like the fact that the articulation on this figure isn't that good, because it should be a lot better than what it actually is. I mean, they really should have done a better job with the articulation. As far as his accessories go, I think that including Keelix was a nice touch. It's really cool. We got his robot, his Fortress Solitude companion. That's really cool. But I'm not a big fan of the articulation. And for comparison, here he is compared to a bunch of other Superman figures. The only Superman figure that's missing is the DC Universe Classics Superman. But you should get a pretty good idea of scale-wise these different Supermans in scale. All of these are pretty much within the 6.5, 7-inch scale. So here is the Earth 3 Superman. Back there in the back is President Superman. This is the Batman v Superman Henry Cavill Superman, which doesn't really look like Henry Cavill. It's an okay figure, but it's not one of my favorite. Of course, the DC Icons Superman. It's the DC Collectibles Justice League Superman. And of course, there on the end is one of my absolute worst Superman figures, and that is the Dark Knight Returns DC Multiverse Superman. And yeah, as you can see, this pretty much gives you an idea of the scales between these figures. I believe Henry Cavill is standing in at about, I want to say 6.5 to 7 inches, and you can see how much taller. It's not really, for some reason, not really picking up how much taller he is. But I'm sitting here looking at it, and he's significantly taller than the DC Icons Superman. of course, the tallest is the one in the back, which is the Justice League Superman. So he's kind of the tallest. He's taller than pretty much all of them. And like I said, the DC Universe Classic Superman is missing. He's pretty much in scale with these 2. So you kind of get an idea. Yeah, guys, that's it. But yeah, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and give a thumbs up. If you like Superman, give this video a thumbs up. If you like DC Icons figures, give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment, pass the word around. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Tell your friends about the Figure King so they can subscribe. Have a good one. Keep collecting. Happy holidays. Peace.